Alright guys, it's 2 in the morning and I am not feeling like waking up tomorrow and posting this, but I'm going to. So, there's going to be a lot of shoutouts in this video, there's going to be a lengthy intro in this video, so someone please comment down below when the intro stops, and when I get to the meat of the video. And first, I'd like to thank my new subscriber. I like turtles and you not. He gave me a very, what's the word? You know the word, I don't know the word. A very helpful comment on one of my previous videos. And I really appreciate that he recommended, this person recommended a software to me. Open Broadcast software. It's supposed to be this recording software that will help me become a gaming channel. And that's another thing I might do in the future. I might splinter off and make a second channel. If I do that, I want to make a reaction channel. And not like your normal run-of-the-mill reaction channel. I want to make a reaction channel to react to these channels that I've been trying to help. Trying to boost their own fan base. Their own following. I want to react to their videos, not like a genre of videos. Well, I mean, it's probably going to be around the same stuff because I kind of have, like, you guys know the words, I don't know the words. Anyway, so I might make a reaction channel. That would be pretty cool. I don't know how Twitter's doing. It seems like nobody's on Twitter. Nobody cares about Twitter. It seems that way. But I know there are people that get like a lot of buzz on their Twitter. I just don't know how to do that. So that's a thing. You guys might want to post some help with that in the comments. I'll put my Tumblr in the Twitter in the description and you guys can help me. I really need help for so many reasons right now, but just help me with my Twitter. That's all I really care about. Oh, by the way, I've shown you guys a lot of different angles of my bedroom throughout the life of this channel. Now, the one that we've been seeing for the past, I don't know how many videos, is you guys were looking at that whiteboard and the camera was over there where that headrest is. And that's not a bed, that's just like a headboard for a bed. It's dismounted and just sitting there. It's off my previous bed and I don't know what to do with it. Also, forgive me for probably not having the same voice and probably looking like a train wreck. I have a cold. My head is very congested and in a lot of pain, and everything is not okay. Like, everything that could possibly feel counterwampus does. But anyway, there should be an anyway counter right next to the like counter. Right next to the counter. So Hope's back. Yeah. Hope X Lily is a channel I've been following for a few months now. I've been keeping up with her videos. I've been keeping up with her Twitter, if she still has that. I'm pretty sure she still has that. But I've been just sort of trying to help her move along, and at the same time, you know, watching all her stuff. And she's kind of like a vlog channel nowadays, and I really like her content. So you guys should check that out. Go check out her channel. She's pretty cool. So, as I was saying about the camera angle, what I meant to wrap up that statement with was I had a previous video at this angle, but the computer was sitting on the bed. Now that I moved the table here, it's a better idea. You can see the wall of toys, you can see like a lot of space behind me, and that makes for a good backdrop. And it doesn't even really look like a bedroom. It looks like a studio room. It looks almost professional, almost like I have been doing this for a long time, like for a year. But I got some new stuff for the toy wall, and there is so much stuff up through here, I couldn't really find a place. So I put it over here. Not this. This is actually old. But this is Cosmic Spider-Man. And I really want him to be in one of the upcoming Marvel movies, but we all know he won't. This is BB-8, Rose, and the black extra BB unit. Yeah, it was a black BB unit that was kind of like an extra. It didn't have any lines, no little whistle noises or anything like that. It was just sort of there on screen for a few seconds. But for some reason it's in that pack. And up here is Poliwag in a premiere ball. And I thought that was really cool because it's a Lego Poliwag, and I didn't know Pokemon did Lego stuff. But it's also cool because premiere balls, I just think they're cool in and of themselves. And I think it's cool that you can go to a Pokemart in most of the games and you have a chance of getting a premiere ball. I don't know when games started doing that, but that's a really good thing. I like that. So this, and this together. I told my parents to guess how much it cost, and one of them guessed like $19, and I just it's funny because that's so far off, and you would expect that, kind of, but it's so far off. Then I think it was Mom said $30, and I was like, well, that's close, at least. It was $43. And, I mean, I think it's worth it. because I get to replace the BB-8 that I took out of the package. That was stupid. It's really hard to find BB-8 toys, and I should have kept it in the pack. I should have kept all my toys that were like collectible in the packs. But, you know, you see these collections on YouTube, and all of the toys are out of the packs, and it's because it's really hard to find certain toys. You know, they probably found them that way on places like eBay and Amazon, and they were like, well, it's close enough. Like, some of these toys that I have on my toy wall are actually child quality. And not many, because Star Wars is like the #1 choking hazard toy line. But, you know, there's a few that could be toy quality. Probably not anything I got the other day. The Lego Poliwag, the BB-8 Rose, and the other BB unit, and the Cosmic Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure there's a choking hazard sticker on all 3 of those. But I'm just glad that I got them. I'm glad I found them. I'm surprised I found them. Really, the Cosmic Spider-Man, because it's a pretty old character, and we're not going to see it again. Not in comics, definitely not in movies. It's a concept that has died. Spider-Man becoming a cosmic entity like Galactus and Silver Surfer and Eternity. I mean, do we even see Eternity in comics anymore? Because I know we don't see him in movies. That's just something that doesn't happen, and I don't know why it doesn't happen. That one comic where he got taken over, and whoever was behind all that, they killed Eternity, and then basically took his place, and it like wiped out everything that existed, and it was only him and the people that helped him. One of them was A-Bomb, and that was just like, you don't expect that. You don't expect any of that. And it was a good story, but we're not gonna see it on the big screen. Wow, usually I'm done with my videos already, and this is still the intro. This is still pre-meat of the video. Okay, so I'm jumping into the video right now. There are a lot of movies of Marvel. There's a lot of superhero movies made by Marvel. But Marvel Phase 1... See, this is what gets me salty, I guess is the word. The MCU is Marvel's cinematic movie universe. Everything before the MCU is not a part of that universe. It pretty much didn't exist, ever, according to Marvel lore, and the lore that they're trying to build for the MCU. So, there's a lot of movies that people think are in the MCU, and they're not. And there's a lot of characters that people would be surprised are not in the MCU. Not yet. Because like the last 18 Marvel movies. That's the MCU, and nothing before that. So, let's delve right into 5 characters or teams that could be in the MCU, but they're not. They're not yet. They've been on the big screen, we've seen how cool they can be. We've seen how cool they can be in comics. Some of them are better in comics, and they can be done better if they're not made by, like, Fox or something. Fox Studios needs to stop making Marvel movies. I think they're already gonna stop because Disney. But anyways, so 5 characters or teams that are not in the MCU. Well, right off the bat, we've got one that probably doesn't surprise anyone. The Fantastic Four is not in the MCU. All the Fantastic Four movies and reboots of the movies, it just didn't work. For so many reasons, it didn't work. And they couldn't build on what they made every time they made a reboot, because all the reboots were flawed. They were very flawed. And the funny thing is, the Fantastic Four are not together anymore in the comics. Like, the Thing is working for S.H.I.E.L.D. and Mr. Fantastic, well, Ultimate Universe Mr. Fantastic, he's in Mephisto's realm for some reason. And I've not even seen, like, the real Mr. Fantastic or Sue Storm or Johnny. I've not seen those 2 or 3 at all. And I don't know. I don't know what Marvel's doing with those characters, because Fox basically kept the name Fantastic Four. Like, Marvel doesn't own it anymore. So, that's a thing that happened. But anyways, that's one team. That's a team that's... none of them are in the MCU. Like, they're broken up now, but the individual members, none of them are in the MCU. Next on the list is another kind of obvious one, and one that doesn't surprise anyone, is Silver Surfer. The movie that Silver Surfer did appear in, the second Fantastic Four movie, the one time they tried to make a series, and it was still so flawed, it didn't work. But, yeah, the reason that he's not showed up in the MCU is most likely just because the movie he did show up in failed miserably. I mean, it's not because of him. His portrayal was pretty good in that movie. It's just that it was a really bad movie. But another one that's not in the MCU, anyone in the X-Men, and that includes Wolverine or Logan. But yeah, those guys, they didn't make it. They didn't make the cut. They didn't meet those standards. I mean, I thought First Class was pretty good, and Days of Future Past, but apparently they weren't good enough. I might look at the ratings after this video, just to see, like, is there a reason the X-Men are not in the MCU? Another one that I realized later, and I'm surprised that, this person's not, in the MCU for good is Apocalypse. Now, X-Men Age of Apocalypse was a really good movie, or I liked it quite a lot, but it just didn't do good, I guess. There's gotta be a reason why they've not shown Apocalypse again in an MCU movie. But, yeah, that's a thing. Apocalypse, he's not in it. And the last one that I'm really surprised, this actually legit surprised me, that he's not in the MCU, is Ghost Rider. Now, I can probably come up with a explanation for this one. The comics. Alright, when the Ghost Rider movies came out, way back when, Johnny Blaze was the Ghost Rider, or it might have been Dan Ketch, but they chose to portray the Ghost Rider as Johnny Blaze. Now, this didn't really surprise me. Dan Ketch is the second Ghost Rider, but what's happening with Ghost Rider now in the comics? He's not even a real Ghost Rider. He is the Host Rider. It sounds bad, and it gets worse. Okay, imagine Ghost Rider, but not the traditional spirit of the Ghost Rider. This guy is just possessed by a relative that was a really bad person. It's like his grandfather or his uncle, I forget which one. But this guy is possessed, and that's all there really is. And he was a legitimate Ghost Rider that way for a while, somehow. And this is the current Ghost Rider, like... Then he got infected with the symbiote, and now he is Host Rider, because the spirit of that relative and the symbiote kind of ganged up on the person inside and shut him down, and now it's just evil and very powerful. But that's our new guy. That's basically the closest thing we have to Ghost Rider now in the comics. So that's probably why he's not in the MCU. And I don't even know what's happened to Johnny Blaze in the comics. Like, he was still a thing after Dan Ketch. He was just sort of lingering. But nowadays, not really. We just don't see him anymore. And I kind of missed that. I don't know why he's not around now. So, same thing happened with Eddie Brock. I don't know where he is. I don't know what his deal is, or what Marvel's deal is, I should say. I don't know what happened to Eddie Brock as of late. I know Flash Thompson, or Agent Venom, is part of the Guardians now, and they could put that in the movies, but they're probably not going to. Yeah. Oh, I just had a brain fart. So, Infinity War wiped out all the Guardians of the Galaxy except Rocket. Rocket could rebuild the Guardians in Guardians Volume 3, which is scheduled for 2020. He could bring on Flash Thompson, he could bring on, who are some other people that technically joined the Guardians? Deadpool, maybe? I don't know. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. To reform the Guardians with the other members. The guys that weren't prominent enough to be in the MCU Guardians. Because there are, like, quite a few that didn't make it in the first two Guardians movies. So, that's an idea. That's a good idea. And I want you to comment down below a character that's not been in like any movies that you would like to see. For me, it's Eternity. I think he's a cool concept, and Gwenpool, that's a really cool character. Just by herself. Separate her completely from her story, stick her in another story, and she will do fine. And I really want to see Cosmic Spider-Man, but we're not going to. We're probably never going to. Because he's just kind of outdated, and he's not been used in years in anything. So yeah, that's my list of 5 characters or teams not in the MCU. I'm probably going to just title it 5 characters, because adding teams, that's like a lot. That makes it sound like a lot. I don't know. It makes a big name. It makes a very long name. It makes a long name. Okay, I'm gonna stop babbling, because you guys don't want to hear that, and the voices in my head don't want to hear that. So, I'll see you next time. Peace.